we. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Peace. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the place where we set oppression ablaze, amongst other things. Anyway, welcome to the program, everybody. Listen, I appreciate everyone making some time to come on in here and hang out with your homie. It's always a gas, man. It's a stone cold groove. Y'all know how we do. Listen, y'all. Today's show is going to be a mix of a variety of things, right? I was having trouble identifying like one particular story or even stories that I wanted to cover. So I just wanted to show things that I guess I find interesting. And some of these stories you love the English, right? You know, our job is to bastardize this colonizer's language. Some of these stories could be considered good news, depending on one's perspective, of course. But you guys are my like-minded fire fam. So, of course, you guys will definitely think some of these stories are good fucking news. Trust you me. So I appreciate y'all being in here with us. Big up to our wonderful moderators. Big up to our wonderful patrons and our YouTube channel members and anybody that just might be falling through tonight's broadcast. Do us a favor, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, consider some material support if you wouldn't mind. But we're going to get to that in a minute. So, kids, I'm not quite the news hound that I used to be. Okay. I'm not quite the news hound that I used to be because, and I'm sure some of you may agree with this, the news is fucking depressing. Very depressing. Local news can be depressing. International news can be depressing. Environmental news, the fucking weather can also be depressing. So sometimes when a big story breaks, I may not see it right away. So coming to discover that Trump had a press conference Sunday, today being big ass Tuesday, and my dumb ass is literally just finding out about this shit. Why come nobody told me that the class warfare has extended across presidential lines? If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Trump held a press conference on Sunday, I guess from the Oval Office, green lighting the Department of Justice, I guess, to go after Obama for alleged election interference in 2016. I'm not even sure. Clearly, these are the rantings and the rumblings of an elder man. I'm talking about Donald Trump, of an elder man probably experiencing varying levels of cognitive decline and physical decline, and who's clearly lashing out because, you know, he used to run with the pedophiles, plural, in addition to Epstein, his homeboy, his nigga, Jeffrey Epstein, been Trump nigga for a long time. And of course, that we know about Epstein, and of course, the whole kerfuffle around these Epstein files Trump promised to release. And then he said, psych, ain't nothing to see here. And MAGA's like, what? There should be plenty to see here. And now Trump is like, oh, but the nigger, though. look, y'all, don't worry about me. The nigger did something, okay? And to his credit, Trump knows that this is a page out of a playbook that in America usually works. That shit usually works. Racist whites are easily distracted by a Negro in proximity who can be easily, tragically, captured and hung, either literally or proverbially, for anything, right? Whether or not it's legitimate or justified or no. But to be clear here, at this platform on BIDWKB, hold on, let me put my J down real quick so I can ready my fingers, okay? We got this middle finger for Donald John Trump, and then we have this middle finger for Barack Hussein Obama. It's both these motherfuckers, okay? Obama ain't no friend to black people in particular. I'm not sure how the whites feel about Obama at this point. However, as far as black folks are concerned, well, I'm sorry, as far as some black folks are concerned, I don't think an animus towards Obama is unanimous across the board. But hold on, I'm gonna get back to Obama here in a second. Let me play this clip for y'all, because y'all gotta see this shit in case you haven't seen this shit. And again, in my advanced middle age, I'm late to shit. So when I saw this, the way I cackled, actually, Will, I might ask you to pop up that clip and keep me on, because the way y'all, I got my J. You see my little J. Where Black Magic? Tell Black Magic don't laugh at my J. Goddamn it! Don't be laughing at my budget J's. Black Magic. We roll what we can, okay? But the way I said, let me roll a spliff for this shit. So, Will, go ahead and run that at your leisure, good fellow. Thank you.
After people, Obama's been caught right or wrong. Whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level.
From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? This was treason. This was every word you can think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents coming.
Dog, hold on. So Obama, gang leader, and then called the man by his full government, Barack Hussein Obama, the way the Fox News Klan crowd used to love, and I'm part of that actually. I'm not part of the Fox News crowd, but I do love to refer to him as Barack Hussein Obama, because the way the whites say it, the racist whites say it, it's derogatory. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't have no issue with the man's Muslim name. We are pro-Islam around here. However, I just laugh at the way the whites like to, weaponize so-called foreign sounding names. but I don't fuck with Obama. You understand? So it's almost like, well, sure, go ahead and clown that nigga, because fuck that nigga. Yo, I have no idea if this is an investigation that is legitimate. I don't know if it's going anywhere, but I have to say, like the je ne sais quoi, the way that Trump has positioned himself as the head of the white nationalists, and Obama also a figurehead of the black bourgeoisie and so-called woke America, right? No, regardless of what we think of Obama, we know Obama's a fucking imperialist. We know Obama is a war criminal. If you don't believe me, CC Libya, CC numerous American citizens, including, who was that, a young teenager in Yemen who was Yemeni American. He was droned by a U.S. drone. Numerous war crimes committed under the Obama administration in Afghanistan. He was the droner in chief. Like, Obama's not a good guy, okay? He was not a good guy. He was a black guy. He was a smart black guy. He was a very politically savvy black guy. But make no mistake about it, Obama's interest aligned 100% with that of the American empire, of the capitalist empire. Obama did fuck all to improve everyday people's lives. And for all those that may point to the Affordable Care Act, the flaws in the Affordable Care Act are laying themselves bare right now, because of the new the big fucking farting bill that Trump made, people's insurance premiums, even if you have health care, are about to go skyrocket. Okay. And they're going to be unaffordable even for people who so-called make decent or good money. And if Obama and the Democrats, when they had the majority plus the White House, plus the majority in Congress, plus the fucking majority, I believe, even on the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Like, Obama could have really made some Roosevelt level progress in terms of securing people's basic rights to health care, women's rights to abortion care. He could have spearheaded and did a lot of fucking shit, but he capitulated to industry and to lobbies like they all fucking do, right? And including the military industrial complex and the prison industrial complex, as Obama under his administration constructed a lot of these ICE detention centers and the rest. However, but I gotta say, I mean, we all know Trump ain't shit, but y'all, what is this gonna look like if Trump is actually able to get Obama into a courtroom, right? Now, as 2025 goes, rich niggas have been doing all right. Look at Diddy. Okay. Now, Diddy had his reputation rightfully dragged through the mud. And to be clear, the things that came out at Sean Combs' alleged sex trafficking trial, kids, just the tip of the iceberg of the terribleness that this nigga likely engaged in. And I kind of find that to be a little fucked up, that people are going to point to this trial as like the worst thing Diddy did. I'm like, y'all, this is definitely not the worst shit that Diddy has done. Diddy has done far more terrible shit. However, because Diddy is a nigga with money, a lot of money, Diddy didn't get the charges, though we don't know what his sentence is going to be. But he was looking at 15 to life. Okay. He ain't getting 15 to life. All right. He might get a couple years, maybe, right? But the money is what got him walking. Okay. So even if Trump does attempt to bring some sort of charges against Obama is a rich enough Negro that, you know, he got a few dollars. He can fight the case, right? To quote another rich Negro, right? Got a few dollars. He could fight the case. But this to me, this is intra-class warfare. Like, Obama and Trump are both two rich assholes, even though Obama doesn't come from the elite in the same way that Trump does. He has earned and or I guess done the bidding of the empire enough to the point that he has been rewarded with the riches that he has. And I'm sure on some racial resentment shit, like, how dare this uppity nigger think that he can get on my level? What? Get on my level, right? Trump is always going to hate Obama for that shit, right? But I gotta say, when talking about the energy that you put out, sometimes be the energy that you will get back, right? Even if Obama didn't do whatever the fuck Trump is blathering on about that he done did, that Tulsi Gabbard of all bitches, Tulsi got him dead to rights. Tulsi got the papers. Tulsi got thousands of papers coming out. Y'all just wait. Tulsi's on top of this shit, okay? But you said Tulsi wasn't on top of the Iran shit. But okay. I'm not going to nitpick. But the fact that Obama was in command of and complicit to the aforementioned war crimes around the brown and black areas of the world, right? I'm sure I didn't even get into what Obama has done in Africa, right? I'm sure he's done terrible things in Africa and allowed terrible things to happen to Africa. But the point is, this could be his get back, his energetic get back for that bullshit that he did in Libya, Yemen, Afghanistan, and on the continent in Central America. And, you know, sometimes it do be the devil that that is allowed to be the engine of your karma, of your energetic retribution. Yeah, Trump is a terrible person, and trust me, the afterlife that awaits him, deeply unpleasant. Okay, deeply unpleasant. Now, Trump obviously would rather reign in hell than serve in heaven. He's made that pretty clear. But that doesn't mean that he don't get powers while he's here and get the power to exercise certain things upon others, right? And so I gotta say, I kind of love this. I kind of love this for Obama. I kind of love this for Trump, because clearly this makes Trump look more guilty and more complicit in the Epstein pedophile accusations and allegations, and the reason why Trump doesn't want the full and total release of all the papers. Now, I haven't even checked in to MAGA to see where MAGA is today on this finger pointing towards Obama. But I'm hoping that they're not so deep and jaded in their racism that they would take their eye off the ball here. They would take their boot off of Trump's neck in their demands to make sure that he account for his relationship to Epstein, even though it should be perfectly obvious to these people. And I think it is in some cases, but they're starting to catch on. But I hope they catch on that this is a grand distraction. But at the same time, I think, y'all, we should just sit back and watch what happens. Kind of like, again, what happened on January 6th was a marvelous day. Like, it was a day for us to really to celebrate and to watch the highest levels of the American empire be absolutely desecrated by its own niggas. Literally. It was nothing but the whites. And I love that for America. I love that for us. So if Donald Trump wants to go after another a former sitting president, I'm here for it, because they all deserve to be brought up on war crimes. Every single living president is a war criminal. Who's still alive? Who we got? We got Ill Bill. we got W. Oh, nigga, go get W first, please. Definitely go get Bill Clinton, but go get W first. And of course, Joey B, fucking war criminal, complicit, accomplice in a genocide. Like, fuck all of them. Fuck them all. Trump, go after all of them. Go after Biden. go after all the fucking remaining presidents. No worries, but that's okay, because karma and the truth, Trump, are coming after you. So y'all, this all could be a win-win. I love it. I'm here for this. Let me move along, because I did want to share some good news stories with y'all. So let me go ahead on in here to the next good story. It's not really good. let me put it this way. It is an improvement, right? I can't even qualify this as good news. But again, here on this platform, here on Burning Down with Kim Brown, we are not going to forget the genocide that is ongoing in Gaza. And Palestinians are starving by the tens of thousands, while also simultaneously being slaughtered by the hundreds at minimum when showing up to food aid and water collection places. They are getting shot and killed, struck down by IDF soldiers. And to be clear, the entire world, everybody's going to hell, okay? Like, every fucking person in a position of authority, of world leadership, anyone that has access to a military, like, fuck you. You're going straight to hell for allowing this genocide and this starvation of millions of people to occur in real time in front of everyone's eyes, okay? However, there was a meeting. This would be, I think, last Wednesday, about a week ago, in Bogota, Colombia, okay? A bunch of global South countries decided to get together. They called this the Hague Group, and they actually passed or have agreed upon. Let me get to this story before I start not reporting the story accurately. But I want you guys to look at this news package, because this is not the kind of story that is going to make it onto Western media. At least I don't think so, though I'm pretty confident with all the Epstein chicanery. There's no room. There's no room to find out what in the fuck is going on internationally, unless it's, of course, in Ukraine, right? And also, you don't even know what the fuck's going on in Israel right now, do you? That is intentional. We're going to get to that a little bit later. But anyway, I want us to take a look at the Hague Group convening last week, mid-July in Bogota, and these countries, I guess this is progress that people are at least talking about maybe doing something together, but we'll see. You guys tell me what you think. Well, let's go ahead and check that out.
Delegates in Bogota call it the most ambitious multilateral action since the start of the war in Gaza.
The measures that have been agreed.
32 countries, mostly from the global south, came together not just to condemn Israel's actions, but to adopt coordinated steps to try to stop it.
Our voice is not that of clowns. It must be respected. Those who bomb and build bombs must respect us. This is our moment to act. Hopefully it will only take political action, not military. But the hate group must go further, or the genocide will continue and barbarism will prevail.
To launch the process, 12 of the countries from different regions pledged to immediately implement 6 concrete steps, including preventing the provision or transfer of arms to Israel, stopping the transit of vessels that might be used to carry arms to Israel, and ensuring public funds are not used to support Israel's illegal occupation of the Palestinian territory. The group also set September 20th during the UN General Assembly as a target date for the other countries to join. Palestine's ambassador to the UN called the move historic.
We are beginning the process in which will be a massive wave of countries, of civil society organizations, of companies, of individuals, of all who cherish international law and justice to start taking practical steps in order to force Israel to stop the genocide against our people.
But others warn that without the participation of Western powers and the imposition of diplomatic and political sanctions, the initiative risks falling short.
This initiative comes from the global south at a time when the European Union and the West remain key political backers of the Israeli regime. We saw that with the EU-Israel Association Agreement. The European Union announced it will not suspend. So we need, and perhaps this is my only reservation, to go beyond sanctions related to arms and trade. We also need political and diplomatic sanctions, just as was done with South Africa during the apartheid regime.
Now the real test will be whether these promises can translate into enforcement, and if this will be the beginning of the dismantling of what many here have called an...
Yeah. So that is interesting news. But I got to say, as I was watching that clip again, I was less excited about that than I had initially been. And I'm still excited to a certain point about it. But then to rehear that the deadline that this Hague group has set for other nations to join them is September 20th. The UN General Assembly meets in New York every fall. Palestinians in Gaza have been on a blockade. Israel has enacted a blockade on Gaza, restricting food, water, medicine, baby formula, hospital supplies, petrol in order to fuel the desalination machines to create and provide fresh drinking water for Palestinians. Israel has been denying people this human aid since March 2nd. Here we are at the end of July. Do you know how many people are going to die by September? And while all of that sounds good, sounds great, I even think there are some Western nations that are involved in this coalition, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you know, Ireland is probably in the mix. Ireland is about the shit. Who else? I think Spain and Norway were the other so-called Western nations that I heard. So it's like, okay, and that's cool, I guess. But y'all, this may be good intent. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like, I think this is coming too little too late. I don't know how many Palestinians are going to be around in September if the blockade isn't broken. If some of these countries don't decide to start, and shout out to Bisan, the young woman journalist in Palestine who has been documenting her life during the genocide for the entire time on TikTok and I'm sure other places. I was about to say somebody needs to airdrop some food down, but then I heard her words in my head saying that airdropping food in a uneven sort of way is not going to do anything to address the starvation crisis, which, by the way, doctors are saying that most Palestinians are approaching, if not already in, the phase of starvation that even if they were to get food today, the body may never recover. Okay, like they are this close. So many people, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, are just this far away from death. And we're talking about elders, we're talking about babies. And not to mention, again, Palestinians remain getting shot at by not only Israeli forces, but some American mercenaries are in there too, taking target practice at people as they queue up for a bag of flour. I don't think September 20th is enough in time. But my point is, so even if, let's say, who has, I'm sure a lot of these, some of these, I think, let's say Ireland, for example. I think Ireland has an air force or some shit. They could rustle up some choppers or some shit. Sure, if they airdrop some food, it still wouldn't be enough to end the crisis. So either international powers have got to step it up. Shout out to the Hague Group. But and ideally we would love for Israel and America to, just quit genociding if they wouldn't mind, if it's not too much trouble, to just stop intentionally slaughtering millions of people. Y'all, where are the other big boys at? Where the fuck is Russia? Or Russia's busy. Where's China? Like, by and large, what the Chinese do is usually better than what the West does, and usually better in general than what America does, right? But somebody with big military balls could come into the situation and play the hero, you know what I'm saying, and literally be the people's champ. If China, with all of its military technology, and again, I'm not suggesting that China attack Israel, though we could hope, but nigga, go in there and drop some shit. Go in there and you bring the Chinese Navy, bring all of the humanitarian aid on the Chinese Navy and up to the port in Palestine. You guys know the way that the Israelis commandeered some of those humanitarian flotillas in open international waters. Do you think for a fucking second that Israel gonna roll up on some Chinese shit talking some shit? I don't think so. Like China, for all of the humanitarian philosophy and socialist / communist way of governing, but making capitalism in there also, but still lifting people out of poverty. I feel like China could do way more on the global stage in order to assert and flex their military dominance, guys, because China's shit in terms of their military, nigga, please. America's not fucking with the shit, okay? Numerous military leaders from the Department of Defense, from the Pentagon, say that when they run the war game models, the U.S. military versus China's military, China wins every time, okay? Niggas know this, okay? Niggas know this. Niggas know not to fuck with this shit, right? So what the fuck is China doing? Like, I need China to do more and do better and do something and do it right fucking now. China and Russia were not at this Hague Group meeting. And like I said, I understand Russia's busy. Russia got his hands full. But China, nah, y'all been pumping up this military for the past 10, 15 years. Put that shit to work on behalf of a persecuted, marginalized, oppressed people that are being literally wiped from existence. The entire world would stand behind China. if they were to come and I would say liberate Palestine. That would be awesome. But if they could literally liberate them from the blockade at the bare minimum. So I don't know how to say that in Mandarin. if one of y'all wouldn't mind running a translation and tagging Xi Jinping in this, please and thank you. China, step the fuck up. Be the world's people's hero. Everyone would stand with you. And guess what? If America wanted to let Yapa sing because you wanted to interfere and stop a genocide, meet them niggas toe to toe. And I say this as someone who lives in the shadow of Washington, D.C. Maybe I should be quiet. Maybe let me turn that down a little bit. Anyway, that's my thought on that. Hold on. Again, I called this show some things that I was perusing. So this is shit that I seen, and I hope y'all also find the shit interesting too. Oh, okay. No, this is a good one. Okay. So I can't remember. Did I not attribute what news agency this was? I guess I didn't because I'm a big jerk. So this story is from the 10th of July. Okay. And again, I wanted to share some good news. And sometimes things that you and I would consider to be good news, you know, NBC and CNN, they wouldn't consider that good news. They wouldn't consider it good news, but we consider it good news. Okay. So you guys know I'm like a groupie for the H group in fucking in motherfucking Yemen, right? I'm trying to think of something funny I could say. How do you prove you're a groupie for a resistance group? What does that look like? I don't know. But regardless, I'm talking about like making posters and stickers and shit. I'm not talking about giving it up for the band, but you understand. However, so the H group out of Yemen just incredible things, doing the most with the least. And mid-July, the H group out of Yemen, because Israel is, you know, terrible at keeping its word and still, again, genociding Palestinians and now doing attacks on Syria, and they have never stopped bombing Lebanon, to my understanding. The H group has been doing some work on the water, let's say during cancer season, no less, right? Like, look at this. July 10th, this story is from right in the middle of cancer season. You see the H group out of Yemen using all the elements to their advantage. And baby, it would seem that in that water, the H group in Yemen is not to be fucked with, okay? Even by big boy militaries like the United States Navy. But for some of these commercial ships trying to make it to is not real ports. The H group out of Yemen said, we done told y'all motherfuckers, stop running this shit through here. So long as Israel is doing genocide, ain't shit getting to Israel. Nigga, did we stutter? Did we fucking stutter? So anyway, check out this report. Let's take a look.
Releasing this video in their latest and deadliest assault yet. Under attack. Houthis releasing this video in their latest and deadliest assault yet. Under attack for 16 hours, missiles, drones and gunfire were unleashed on Liberian-flagged bulk carrier the Eternity Sea, sinking in the Red Sea, killing 4 of the 25 on board, while the rest of the crew abandoned ship. 6 spent 24 hours in the water before being rescued as part of a European Union naval operation. A Houthi military spokesperson claimed responsibility, saying the ship was targeted because it was bound for an Israeli port, describing the attack as an act of solidarity with Palestinians and part of their broader campaign to disrupt Israeli maritime traffic and pressure Israel to end the war in Gaza. Hours before, another video released, another cargo vessel, the Liberian-flagged, Greek-owned Magic Seas, came under fire. Houthis stormed and seized control before sinking the ship with multiple explosives. All crew members were rescued. Just days ago, Israel carried out strikes on Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen in response to repeated missile and drone attacks on Israel, targeting Red Sea ports including Hodeidah and the container ship the Galaxy Leader, which the Houthis hijacked in November.
Can I tell y'all what was playing in my head as I'm watching that story, which I've seen several times already? Because again, I like to keep the good news on a loop. What's playing in my head is all kinds of mid 2000s, 2010s Atlanta crunk music, and of course, Knuck If You Buck was playing under that. Hey, well, I'm a gat, told a pistol, hold it, that go on your damn street, jumping, pumping, then we crunk up in this damn thing, throwing the bows. Listen, I'm telling you, the age group in Yemen is listening to Trillville and Crime Mob, and all of the wonderful things that you listen to before you head out to battle to go deal with some bitch niggas. We want to tip of the hat. I really love that. And by the way, again, the age groups that that are doing it for the people, only one of them is kind of down bad right now, and that's the age group out of Lebanon. I did see a video from my guy Ali Mortada, but he was spitting it in straight Arabic. I'm like, let me get this translated. But I did catch some words, and he did say Israel, and I think he did say Gaza. So I'm curious as to what Ali Mortada was saying. But anyway, but the age group also in Palestine, under the circumstances, still continues to do work. Hold on. So wait a minute. What is the next thing I wanted to show y'all? Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you are enjoying the smattering of news, alleged good news. And this next story, whether or not it's good, I think depends on your perspective. And again, we are in a cosmically and karmically charged season right now, right? We got a bunch of planets in retrograde. And listen, no matter what you niggas think about the astrology, nigga, you don't gotta believe in astrology for the shit to still apply and affect you. We are all made of all the particles that are up in the planets and in the universe, right? So we are affected by gravity, we are affected by light, we are affected by a lot of universal elements, and we are one with this planetary system. So when there are shifts in the planets, even though them fucking planets may be far as shit away, you don't know how that shit affects you, pulls on you, pushes on you. You don't know. You don't fucking know. Look at what the moon does to niggas, right? Who could just imagine what Jupiter does to niggas? Like, be serious. So anyway, a lot of shit is spinning right now. Mercury's in retrograde, Pluto's in retrograde, I think Saturn's in retrograde. My point is this: karma and the energy that you have put out is on its way back to you. So this story, whether or not it's good, depends on your perspective. And the H group in Gaza, again, in spite of horrific circumstances, these people continue to fight, okay? And they are fucking up as much as they are able the IOF forces, okay? There's been some recent Merkava tank attacks, I think in the south and Khan Yunis and also in northern Gaza. Like Israeli forces took such L's that the Israeli media literally did not want to disclose how many soldiers were killed in a series of H group in Palestine's ambushes. I mean, like the youngins been putting in work, dog, okay, work, dog. But here's the thing about the devils, the people bearing the white and blue flag, right? The devils, believe it or not, their own horrific deeds are coming home to roost upon them, even beyond what the H group in Palestine is able to do to them with limited means. So let me play the story for y'all, and y'all tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Oh, by the way, hold on real quick, Will. So yeah, so given the numbers that we know of Palestinians that have been slaughtered, the numbers that are about to be reported in the first, several seconds of this package. Just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind about what the H group in Gaza, the kind of work they've been able to put in. So let's take a listen.
Yes, there are almost 1,000 Israeli soldiers who have been killed during this conflict. There are more than 12,000 gravely wounded. And what we're seeing now is a spate of suicides. We have known for a while here in Israel that post-trauma and trauma is really basically a plague among the soldiers who've served in Gaza. But right now I can tell you that in the last 10 days, 3 soldiers have killed themselves. The last one, a member of a very elite brigade yesterday. 15 have killed themselves since the return to fighting. And I can tell you just now, in the last 15 minutes, we've been informed of a 4th IDF soldier, a trainee in boot camp for the paratroopers. So again, an elite brigade who has attempted suicide just today. He is not dead, but he's in critical condition. And this has been such a plague in recent weeks and days that it's become part of the public conversation for the first time in Israel. The toll that this is taking on soldiers who are 18-year-old conscripts. In Israel, if you're not ultra-Orthodox and not an Arab, you're conscripted to the army, boys and girls alike. And so the Gaza war is being fought by young adults, very young, who have very little experience and had no say in the matter. Were simply conscripted and obliged by law to go and serve in what is turning out to be a brutal and unending war. The young soldier who killed himself yesterday had served for an entire year nonstop and apparently simply couldn't withstand the pressure. So this is another issue that Netanyahu has to contend with, these tragedies, as de facto he's negotiating an exemption to the draft for his close coalition partners.
Bogota Polski in Jerusalem, as always, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Now, gang, I know you guys come here from our razor sharp analysis, and when I'm listening to that woman list off those numbers and the circumstances in which some of these Israeli soldiers have found themselves in that have compromised their mental health, what my big takeaway is, oh, the little Israeli diaper forces, they can't take the pressures of murdering children, of targeting kids for headshots and neck kill wounds and literally R-wording, RAPING Palestinians to death that are in their custody. Meanwhile, as an active starvation crisis is happening, you want to tell me when? Oh, these little baby bitches who seemingly take pleasure and glee from slaughtering civilians, from dropping bombs and droning women and children and elderly people and disabled people, the people who get off, like the IDF forces, they get off on this shit, right? And so what? The screams of their victims haunt them at night, and them hoe ass niggas can't take it, so they take themselves out. Well, good. That's what the trash is supposed to do. Take itself out. Take itself out. And some might be like, well, you shouldn't say that because people's mental health is in prices and blah, blah, blah. Dog, if you're participating in an act of genocide, you can kindly go fuck yourself. And I could name 20 ways that you could KYS, okay? I'm trying to watch my language here because I know these fucking hoe ass niggas at Google and YouTube be tripping, but I can tell you 1,000 ways you can go KYS, okay? And you should take advantage of that if you are participating in a genocide. Even if you yourself, as an Israeli soldier, didn't take a shot at a child or at a woman or anything like that, the fact that you still remained in that fucking piece of shit ass, pussy ass, soft as scrotum ass military force. Because by the way, the IOF forces, not a great army. Okay. When they wanted to show down with some RNs out here, Hezbollah. They couldn't do it. They had to do the surreptitious, cheating ass pagers attack and all that retard. Excuse me, my language, part of my ableist slur. That was bad of me. I apologize for that. But getting back to my point, they're killing themselves, and we don't feel sorry for them. we lack empathy. We lack compassion. We actually, think more of that might be a good thing for the people that are complicit in this. But that's where I was going. I don't feel bad for these kids that are in this fucking army, okay? That are taking their own lives, unaliving themselves. When the United States was involved in one of its many unjust wars in Vietnam, Americans who were drafted did their best and left this country in droves by the thousands. Canada was a well-known refuge for so-called American Vietnam War draft dodgers, okay? And I am inclined to believe that in spite of the conscription requirement placed upon Israeli youths, young Israeli adults, you have to go to the. Here's a funny thing again about most Israelis: they're dual citizens somewhere fucking else. You could go somewhere else. The same way, at least 100,000, though probably more, because this number is probably underreported. Though it's since Iran let the chopper sing on these bitch niggas, okay, at least 100,000 Israelis have departed Israel. They've either crossed the sea into Cyprus or took a circuitous route through Jordan into Egypt and flew out of Cairo. And them niggas flew back to Warsaw. They flew back to London. They flew back to New York's JFK. They went the fuck home. Okay, so miss me with, well, they're required by law. How many Americans in the 60s and 70s drafted to Vietnam were required by law to appear and show up for that draft? And a lot of them, including your president, Donald J. Trump, including your fucking president, Donald J. Trump, said, nope, I'm not doing that shit. But most people, I think, had way better reasons than Trump's bone spurs. Shout out to the conscientious objectors, and shout out to those who had to go, shout out to the likes of like a Muhammad Ali. You understand? Like people who were forced or attempted to be forced to go and raised up their voice and said that was not something that they wanted to do, nor that they would do. So fuck these little the Israeli diaper force bitches. If y'all can't take the heat, go to fuck home, or continue with the mission as it's being executed on yourselves right now. Keep that up. Y'all talk it out. Y'all, make sure that everyone's pews are clean, that they got the good ammo in them. Don't fuck around with it. Do it expeditiously. Thank you, somebody. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to give you a big chatty in a second. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. Hold on. There's more good news. Wait. There's more news. Wait. Hold on. Let me move around here. And don't forget, we are still taking super chats. Like this channel, at least not yet, is not demonetized. So any roly uppy support, that's what I call the boxes and the super chats when they roll up. I'm like, oh, the roll ups. That's roll up support. And that has a double entendre, as I'm sure you guys know. But if you know me, peace out to Nick E. I appreciate the love. That is good stuff, Nick E. Thank you so much. So, do me a favor, guys. Like the video, subscribe to us. It's BIDWKB. Shout out to all of our folks checking us out on Twitch, especially to Rose Alba, who took an unexpected Instagram audio call from me yesterday because I I had a bit of a headache. I was a little half asleep, and I was trying to make a call on Instagram, and I ended up calling Rose Alba, who so graciously answered the phone. And she said, Auntie, what do you want? No, she didn't say that. She was very sweet and gracious, as we know Rosalba to be. So shout out to Rosalba, shout out to Northern Witch, and all of our folks over on Twitch. We appreciate you so much. So my next story is a bit of a cops ain't shit story, and shame on me. Shame on me. Well, actually, I'm gonna hold that because I think there's an update to that story, and I need to know what it is, and I don't know what it is. But the story generally is a ridiculous story.
Can we shout out Infinite Content for a super chat? Infinite Content says, speaking of Cyprus, they're cracking down. They're starting to crack down on Zio citizenship, ability to own businesses and property, rightfully citing colonialization concerns. Mm-hmm. Agreed. We got 107 people watching us live. Hit that like, y'all.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate you all so much. Infinite Content. It's so funny that you bring that up because I saw a similar story coming out of Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankans are mad. They are big mad because apparently it's not just like Israelis that go there for tourism, but specifically like IDF, like veterans go to Sri Lanka. And not only are they assholes, okay, but they go there. They buy property, they set up businesses, and they make the businesses for whites only. Can you fucking imagine? I'm like, these people are really European colonizers and settlers. Like, look at the consistency. Look at the track record. Like, can you imagine? No, you don't have to imagine because we've seen it happen lots of times. But going, you as a white, as a whole white in the 21st century, going to a brown country and literally creating a space where the natives, the indigenous people to that land that you are not native to, and you want to make spaces that actually exclude them. Whoo, baby, let me tell you something. The whites do not lack the audacity, okay? Like the audacity, geez Louise. So Cyprus is like, fuck that shit. And I hope Sri Lanka and their government gets a handle of that, son. You can't be doing that shit. So I saw the story and I said, I think I love this because I subscribe to prison justice. Okay, like I wish that there was actually more prison justice on the outside. What do I mean by prison justice? From what I understand, when I listen to people who especially served time, like some decent stretches in either a state penitentiary or a federal facility. I mean, usually in the state penitentiary, though, right? No matter what niggas do, if they are in there for dealing drugs, selling guns, apparently the treatment received by the sexual predators and those that intentionally do harm, either physical or sexual abuse to children, are subjected to a very specific type of treatment that can range from mental torture involving the poisoning or contaminating of a convicted sex abuser's food, whippings, I mean, just be they get treated mean, like, but in the worst way possible. And I'm like, I love this. How come the abusers, the ones that are known, why don't they get this treatment on the outside? Why don't they get beat up? Why don't they get taken to corners with no cameras and get the dog shit kicked out of them, right? For being terrible people. I think that should be a thing. And I don't understand why it's a thing. So I don't dig it. But anyway, so I saw this story. Actually, hold on, Will. I might have to throw this up here because I think this brother actually tells the story very well. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. There is a Twitter account that I follow, and it's called Baltimore Murder. And this young guy, he tells different stories about people who have unfortunately died from homicide in Baltimore City. And sometimes he follows up on stories that happened, in the past. Hold on one second. Oh, you bitch. Sometimes TikTok be fucking with me, guys. Like on my bookmarks, sometimes my bookmarks won't reflect my recent ones. Okay, there we go. Hold on. So I saw a story of an incarcerated person who was killed in jail in one of the Maryland correctional facilities. Oh, god damn it. And I was curious about it. I'm like, okay, why is the news reporting on this story? Because they didn't really give a lot of information about the person that was killed beyond his name and his age. Hold on. I thought I had favored it or liked this video. Now I'm getting mad. There it is. Okay, hold on. I'm about to put this on the doc real quick, Will. But now when I got more context about who this man was and what he was in jail for, I said, "Oh, this is actually a good news story." So, Will, we're going to go ahead and play the YouTube version first that you have on the doc, and then after we look at that, if you're able to pull up what I just put on the doc, that would be swell. So this happened a couple of days ago. And the name of the prison this happened at is, I think, Northwest Branch Prison or North Branch Prison in Maryland. And I said, what the fuck? Where? Northwest Branch Prison. And then I looked it up and it's in Cumberland, Maryland. So here unlike New York state penitentiaries where they have names, what different names that people reference, like, Clinton, to my homeboys at Clinton Max doing their bids, what's another one? Denimora, you know what I mean? Like they got names. Well, casually in Maryland, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that does this because but anyway, we refer to the penitentiaries by where they're located, right? Cumberland, Maryland, Hagerstown. Somebody locked up out Cambridge, or and of course the Cut, Jessup, the infamous, and right there in Howard County where I'm from. But people just call it by the name of the town where they are. So I didn't recognize the name of the prison until I looked it up and said, "Oh, this happened out Cumberland." So this all of Maryland's state penitentiaries are pretty notorious. But anyway, so let's play what happened, and then we'll play what precipitated this end for this incarcerated person. Let's take a look.
Right now, Maryland State Police are investigating the death of an inmate in Allegheny County. This happened Friday at the North Branch Correctional Institution. According to officials, 30-year-old Elias Alvarado was found dead after previously seen standing in the hallway of the tier he lived on with another inmate. The suspect has been identified but has not yet been charged as this investigation continues.
Just a short blurb, not a whole lot there. Didn't even tell you what Elias, the victim, didn't even tell you what he was up Cumberland for. Talk about some North Branch Correctional Facility. I'm like, where the fuck is that? Cumberland. Okay, got it. Cumberland, yes. And even the psych facility, Crownsville, right? Out Crownsville. Anyway, so there you go. The inmate got killed. Maryland State Police are investigating. Suspect has been identified and not charged. Identified and not charged. An interesting caveat there. So who is Elias, the victim? He happens to be an El Salvadorian national, but to me, that is inconsequential of the story because there are plenty of homegrown creeps and predators right here in the good old US of A who have two American parents. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me that this person was not of this country. There are plenty native-born predators that do as terrible things as what this man, as what you guys are about to hear that this man did, and worse. So keep in mind, this guy's dead. So so here is what he did. Let's take a listen. Shout out to Baltimore Murder.
taking the lives of two women. A man convicted of taking the lives of two women in brutal fashion loses his own in prison. In a case that involves two women who are strangers to each other, but tragically shared the same fate, and the detective whose own demise has been passionately debated. Tragedy struck on Friday, September 2nd, 2016. That's when police in Northwest Baltimore were called to the 3700 block of Bancroft Road after somebody found a body underneath the deck of the neighbor's home. Now, the caller is a man who said he originally woke up between 3 and 3:30 in the morning after hearing a woman scream, but he figured he may have been dreaming and went back to bed. The next morning is when he discovered the body. It was a woman. That woman was Anquinette Dates. She was 48 years old. May you rest peacefully. Surveillance video shows her and her attacker walking together shortly before. And just 6 days later, on Thursday, September 8th, 2016, police in Northwest Baltimore were called to the 3900 block of Dolefield Avenue after somebody witnessed a man and a woman fighting. A police officer with his sirens off approaches the scene and witnesses a man crouching next to a woman's body. She was face down with some of her clothes off. The man takes off but is caught shortly after. The unfortunate victim's name was Renarda Williams. She was 35 years old. May you rest peacefully. The man is Elias Alvarado of El Salvador. He's 21 years old. He was charged, convicted, and sentenced to double life for the strangulations and brutal assaults of both these ladies. And the detective assigned to Renarda Williams' case is none other than the late Sean Suter. If you're unfamiliar with him, he was scheduled to testify against the gun task force, who was eventually all sent to federal prison. But the day before he could testify, he ended up dead in the alley. A story that was portrayed by Jamie Hector, or Marlo from The Wire, in a series called We Own the City. Officials say he took his own life in the alley while on a call in West Baltimore, but many people question that. And on Friday, July 18th, 2025, Elias himself is found dead of what they say is numerous knife wounds while serving his double life sentence inside of a maximum security prison in Maryland called North Branch. May you ladies rest peacefully. There's a lot going on in this case. And also with what happened to Detective Suter, murder's a real epidemic in Baltimore, a widespread disease. As always, thanks for tuning in to Baltimore Murder.
Shout out to Baltimore Murder. That young man, he's a really good storyteller, and even though the content obviously is morbid and sad, every person that is a victim of homicide and gun violence does have a story, and a lot of times the stories are tied to the locations, especially in Baltimore, and the neighborhoods and such, and where these things happen. But yeah, so Elias Alvarado was 21 at the time of the murders of Anquinette and Renata, I think are the names of the victims, back in 2016. But he was 30 when he got sliced up. When he got sliced up, and two niggas just start busting. One nigga just got hauled off, sliced up. Shout out to you if you know what that's from, right? So yeah, so now Elias has been sent on up to glory. And gang, from what I understand, and this is what I find fascinating about prison justice, right? It's not just some inmates, get a wild-haired idea and decide to take out the trash as it pertains to men that specifically harm women and children. No, it's a whole industry. Like the COs are in on it, the prison nurses is in on it, like the gang organization, like wild niggas is in on it, right? So it's like, if you wanted to green light a sexual predator or a murderer, one of the terrible list of the terrible men's, nothing's impossible. And in fact, I think I saw a story, maybe we'll do this one Friday. I think they jumped on Larry Nassar again, the disgraced Olympic doctor who sexually assaulted literally hundreds of gymnasts. Some it doesn't even matter what their ages were, because he assaulted hundreds of women and girls who were there to receive treatment under his supposed, expert medical care. And they jumped on his ass again. I love it. I love it. So to Elias Alvarado, burn in hell. Mine in hell. You got to live 10 years, well, yeah, damn near 10 more years longer than your victims did. And I hope that whoever, those soldiers of Jah up there, Cumberland, them soldiers, them soldiers up there in Cumberland, those prison justice warriors, I hope the name of the person who did it gets released. Because, just for reasons. the holidays are coming up. You just never know. You might want to do something nice for an incarcerated person who is obviously making credible and earnest attempts at redeeming their soul and their own personal karma and cosmic energy. So to the soldiers locked down up Cumberland, outstanding work. Keep it up. Elias, burn in hell. To the families of his victims, I hope that this brings you a modicum of closure. So, gang, I'm going to call it an eve. We're going to call it an evening. I thank you all so much for joining me and coming down my TikTok rabbit holes, of which I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I spend a considerable amount of time on TikTok. If you notice, I do not shit talk the kids like I used to in terms of being digital dope fiends, because it's like, oh, now I too am on. I get it. I'm on the digital fetty now. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the digital meth also, children. So I get it. So I'm gonna shut up and hit my TikTok pipe in peace. Okay. I will be shaming the youths no longer. I too am on the TikTok pipe. So I get it. Oh, when they take the TikTok pipe away, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be hard. So do me a favor, gang, like the video on your way out the door. Please be sure to wake up to the Remix Morning Show on Black Liberation Media, coming to you live starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, featuring myself tomorrow, possibly Jackie Lukman, possibly Kamal Franklin, certainly the Ear Doctor on Black Liberation Media. Wednesdays is not my usual day, but I answer the call. Shout out to Ricky Ryan. Shout out to Kamal. Shout out to Ear Doctor. Shout out to the brother Max who joined us this morning on the Remix Morning Show. If you didn't watch the Remix Morning Show this morning and you wanted to get a contextual understanding of what is going on in Syria, the guest that we had this morning, his name is Max. He was very comprehensive. it was a comprehensive interview. So anything that you ever wanted to know about Syria over about the past 10 to 15 years, I think we were able to get to a lot of it in about 40 minutes. So yeah, go and check that out when you get a chance. And of course, like the Remix Morning Show, set your bells and notifications. Thank you so much to Will and Molly. Peace to infinite content. And tomorrow is Leo season. So Leos, if you're out there, act bad. just act bad. Act bad. Okay. Leo to the fucking max. Okay. Ain't no rules. The cosmos is telling us ain't no rules in the world. Why the fuck should it be rules for Leos? No, that's over. That's over for the next several weeks. And we got a full moon coming up. Oh, niggas. Hide your kids, hide your wife. It's about to be an unsafe situation for a lot of folks. So shout out to all my Leo stunners getting ready to come into our season. All right. Thank you so much to Will and Molly, Fire Farmers. Love you guys to pieces. Love to our awesome, amazing mods, y'all. See y'all later. Love y'all. Pieces, deuces, bye.